Have you ever been stuck behind a brand new truck that costs more than most people's houses? We're talking chrome everything, leather seats worth more than rent, and a payment that would shock your mortgage broker. Here's what's wild. The person driving that truck probably makes less money than you do. So how are regular people affording these astronomical car payments that seem to defy basic mathematics? My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money and financial decisions. If you've wondered how your neighbor affords a $70,000 pickup while complaining about grocery prices, stay with me. The average new car payment in America has crossed into territory considered absolutely insane just a decade ago. We're talking monthly payments that exceed what many Americans actually pay for rent every month. Millions of Americans are signing loan documents every month for vehicles that cost more than median household income. Most of these people aren't secret millionaires, crypto billionaires, or trust fund babies hiding their wealth. They're teachers, nurses, mechanics, retail workers, and office employees. No, regular folks with regular jobs. There's a whole system designed to make impossible car payments seem completely possible and affordable. Understanding this system isn't just curiosity, Kai. It protects you from a decision that could derail your future. This financial decision could trap you for the next 7 to 10 years of your life. Let's start with the most obvious question. How much money are we actually talking about here? When I tell people the average car payment numbers, they usually assume I'm completely making them up. The average new car payment has now climbed to over $700 per month. That $700 is the average flake, not for a luxury car, but for a regular vehicle. When you look at trucks and SUVs, the most popular choices, payments routinely exceed $900 monthly.
It's not uncommon to see monthly truck payments exceeding $1,200 every single month.
We're talking payments every month for 6, 7, or even 8 straight years of your life. Those payments total more than $80,000 over the life of a single car loan. And that's before you even factor in insurance, maintenance, and fuel costs on top of everything. You might think wages have risen enough to support these kinds of payments, but that's not true. Median household income has increased, but nowhere near enough to justify these payment amounts by any measure. Traditional financial wisdom simply does not support the payment sizes Americans are currently signing up for. The answer lies in a combination of factors that have fundamentally changed how Americans approach buying cars. None of these factors are good news for the people actually signing those loan documents. First, let's talk about loan terms, Nay. Remember when a car loan was just 3 or 4 years? Those days are completely gone, as dead as the flip phone, never to return again. Today's car loans routinely stretch 6, 7, or 8 years well into the future. Some lenders are even offering 10-year car loans, which sounds like something from a financial horror movie. The appeal is obvious. Borrow. Spread a $60,000 truck over 8 years instead of 4. A $1,500 monthly payment over 4 years suddenly drops to $900 over 8 years. The monthly number looks more reasonable, and that's exactly what the buyer focuses on when deciding. By extending the loan term, buyers aren't just lowering payments, they're dramatically increasing total cost. That $900 payment over 8 years totals over $86,000 paid for the truck. Compare that to just $72,000 if they had taken the shorter 4-year loan. That's an extra $14,000 paid just for the privilege of having lower monthly payments. Even worse, they'll keep making payments long after the truck is worth a fraction of what they owe. Cars depreciate rapidly, especially in the first few years after you drive off the lot. By year 5 or 6 of an 8-year loan, you'll owe far more than the vehicle is worth. This is called negative equity. You're trapped and can't sell or trade without writing a check.
You literally cannot escape without paying thousands of dollars just to exit the loan agreement.
But extended loan terms are just the beginning. The second major factor is promotional interest rates.
Walk into any dealership and you'll see signs advertising 0% APR for qualified buyers. Sounds amazing, right? Free money to buy that brand new shiny truck in the showroom.
But dealers definitely don't want you to understand that 0% financing isn't actually free money.
The cost of that financing is simply built directly into the price of the vehicle itself. You either pay full price and get 0%, or get a discount and pay market rate interest.
You are never getting both the discount on the car and the 0% interest rate simultaneously.
Those 0% offers also come with strict qualification requirements and shorter loan terms attached.
The people who actually qualify are typically the same people who could afford to pay cash anyway. For everyone else, interest rates on these extended loans can be quite substantial, especially with imperfect credit. Then there's the trade-in game, which has become increasingly important in managing these large payments. Here's how it typically works. And someone buys a new car on a 6 or 7-year loan. After 3 or 4 years, they want something newer but still owe more than the car's worth. So they roll that negative equity directly into a new, even more expensive vehicle loan. This creates a cycle where people constantly pay for cars they no longer own while taking on new debt. Their loan balances keep growing every month, even though they're making regular payments each time. It's like a financial hamster wheel. The faster you run, the further behind you actually get. Dealers absolutely love this arrangement because it creates loyal customers for life who keep coming back.
Once trapped in the negative equity cycle, buyers become a captive audience for every new vehicle purchase. Breaking free requires writing a check for thousands of dollars just to exit the current loan. But perhaps the most concerning trend is how completely normalized these extreme car payments have become. People who would never spend $1,200 monthly on anything else justify it for a car. If someone told you they spent $1,200 monthly on coffee, you'd stage an intervention. If they spent that much on clothes every month, you'd assume they had a serious shopping addiction. But when it's a car payment, everyone just nods and says you need reliable transportation. This normalization didn't happen by accident. It's the result of decades of powerful automotive marketing. Decades of marketing have convinced Americans that their vehicle is a direct extension of their personal identity. Your truck isn't just transportation. It's a statement about who you are as a person. It shows you're successful, hardworking, and reliable sticko. And if you're not driving something impressive, well,
The automotive industry has become incredibly sophisticated at tapping into these deep psychological triggers.
they don't sell cars anymore to sell. They sell lifestyles, dreams, and social status to buyers.
That commercial showing a rugged truck climbing mountains isn't selling transportation.
True?
It's selling a fantasy.
It's selling you the fantasy that you're the kind of person who actually climbs mountains themselves.
The closest most buyers ever get to off-roading is parking on grass at the county fair.
This emotional manipulation makes it easy to justify payments that would otherwise seem completely irrational.
When you're buying an identity rather than a truck, that $900 payment feels like self-investment.
It feels like an investment in yourself rather than what it actually is, a financial mistake.
Now let's get back to the practical mechanics of how people actually make these payments fit budgets.
Even with extended terms and emotional justification, $700 to $1,200 is still enormous.
This is where things get really creative, guys. And by creative, I mean potentially financially disastrous. Many people are restructuring their entire financial lives completely around their car payment obligation. They treat the car payment like a mortgage, adjusting their entire lifestyle accordingly around it. I've seen people move to smaller apartments or stay with roommates longer just to afford their truck. They'll eat ramen noodles for lunch every day while driving a truck worth more than their home.
They skip vacations, avoid restaurants, and put off major purchases just to support the car payment.
All of this sacrifice just to support a car payment consuming 25 to 30% of income. Some people are even taking on second jobs specifically just to cover their vehicle expenses. They'll drive for rideshare companies or deliver food on weekends using their expensive truck to pay for it.
It's like automotive indentured servitude, where your car is both your master and your means of survival.
Others are dipping into retirement accounts or taking loans against their 401k for down payments.
They're literally borrowing from their future selves to fund current transportation decisions and fantasies.
Most people are terrible at calculating the true cost of early retirement account withdrawals and penalties. They don't realize they're sacrificing potentially hundreds of thousands in future wealth for a depreciating truck. That truck will be worth practically nothing in 10 years, but the retirement money is gone forever. Then there's the credit card shuffle that has become increasingly common among car payment juggling people. People put maintenance, repairs, insurance, and fuel on credit cards to free up cash for car payments. They use high-interest debt to subsidize transportation costs. It's like using a blowtorch to light a cigarette.
Technically, it works, but it's probably not the smartest financial approach available to most people. The most concerning trend is people taking personal loans or home equity loans for car down payments. They're leveraging their homes to buy cars, which fundamentally misunderstands the purpose of both assets.
Your house should be building wealth over time, Regimes. Your car should get you efficiently from point A to B.
When you use your house to fund your car addiction, you have the entire equation completely backwards. Here's where the story gets even more interesting. Many people make these sacrifices for multiple vehicles.
The average American household now owns more cars than they have licensed drivers. Mathematically impressive, financially terrifying.
It's not uncommon to find families with 2 or even 3 simultaneous car payments running at once.
Dad has his work truck. Mom has her family SUV, and there's a third car for teenagers.
Suddenly, the combined car payments in that household exceed what most families actually pay for housing. These families have essentially created their own personal auto financing companies that live down. ones that only lose money.
They're managing multiple depreciation schedules, insurance policies, maintenance plans, and loan terms simultaneously.
It's like running a small business where the business loses money every day and inventory becomes worthless.
The psychological effect of managing multiple car payments is both fascinating and deeply disturbing to observe.
People become experts at juggling due dates and minimums, but completely lose sight of the bigger picture.
They'll celebrate paying off one car loan while simultaneously signing 2 new ones at the dealership.
They measure success by their ability to keep all the plates spinning, rather than questioning the plates. Now there's the insurance component that most people completely underestimate when calculating whether they can actually afford a vehicle.
Insuring a $60,000 truck costs significantly more than insuring a $20,000 sedan. Add comprehensive coverage, collision coverage, gap insurance, and all other recommended protections for expensive vehicles.
Insurance premiums for one expensive vehicle can easily exceed $200 every single month.
For families with multiple expensive vehicles, insurance costs alone can easily approach $500 monthly. That's $6,000 per year just for the legal privilege of driving your depreciating assets on roads. Many people focus so hard on negotiating the monthly payment, they forget to factor in insurance at all. They don't discover the true insurance cost until they're sitting in the insurance agent's office afterward. Maintenance costs present another surprise that catches many new truck and SUV owners completely off guard. Modern vehicles, especially trucks and SUVs, are incredibly complex with advanced technology and premium components. When something breaks, and it absolutely will break, the repair bills can be truly staggering. A simple brake job on a modern truck can easily run $800 to $1,200 today. Transmission problems can run $5,000 or more today, and major engine work could hit $10,000. Many people making extreme car payments have zero emergency funds set aside for these inevitable repairs. They'll likely end up putting major repairs on credit cards or taking out additional loans to cover it.
This creates a vicious debt cycle, where the manageable car payment becomes the catalyst for a debt spiral. This debt spiral can take years to fully escape once it gains momentum and becomes entrenched.
You'll see people with pristine $70,000 trucks while frantically searching for gas money.
It's like wearing a Rolex watch while living entirely on ramen noodles. Technically impressive, but missing the point.
Fuel costs alone for these massive vehicles can approach what full car payments used to cost a decade ago. A truck getting 15 miles per gallon in real-world conditions faces serious fuel expenses every single month.
With gas fluctuating between $3 and $5 per gallon, monthly fuel costs can exceed $400.
Add in the occasional road trip or weekend adventure, and that fuel number climbs even higher still.
Now let's run the real numbers that most people never bother to calculate when buying a vehicle. From a financial planning perspective, these numbers should be absolutely terrifying to any rational person. Imagine someone buys a $55,000 truck with a 7-year loan at 6% interest. Their monthly payment works out to about $800, which feels quite manageable on the surface.
Compare that to the $1,200 payment with a shorter loan term they were avoiding.
Over the entire life of that 7-year loan, they'll pay approximately $67,000 total. Add insurance at $250 monthly tons. That's another $21,000 over those 7 years. Factor in fuel costs of $350 monthly, and we're talking another $29,000.
Maintenance and repairs over 7 years will easily run another $15,000, probably more realistically. When you add it all up, this person will spend over $130,000 on transportation. At the end of those 7 years, they'll own a vehicle that's worth maybe $15,000. They've essentially paid $130,000 for the privilege of driving a $15,000 truck. That's not transportation financing, family. That is wealth destruction with cup holders and heated seats. The most depressing part of this equation is what that same money could have done if invested instead. If someone took that $800 monthly and invested it in a simple index fund at 8% annually, they'd have over $70,000 after just those same 7 years of making consistent contributions. Not only would they avoid the truck burden, they would have actually built real wealth instead. But here's the psychological trap that makes this cycle so incredibly difficult for people to break. Once someone commits to extreme car payments, they develop what I call Automotive Stockholm Syndrome. They become emotionally attached to their financial captor. The truck is now a part of their identity.
The truck represents their hard work, their success, and their earned right to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
The idea of driving something cheaper feels like admitting failure or accepting a lower social status entirely. This emotional attachment makes truly rational financial analysis nearly impossible for most truck owners to perform. When someone suggests a reliable used vehicle, they don't hear financial advice, they hear a personal attack. They hear an attack on their self-worth and their right to enjoy what they've worked hard to earn. They'll defend their truck payment with the same passion they'd use to defend their own family, even though that truck payment might be preventing them from actually providing for their family's real future. The automotive industry understands this psychology better than most people understand their own emotional motivations. They've spent billions of dollars researching exactly how to trigger emotional responses and convert them into signatures. Walk into any dealership and notice they never discuss total cost of ownership or opportunity cost.
Instead, they focus entirely on monthly payments, immediate gratification, and the social status of the vehicle.
The entire sales process has been refined specifically to overcome every rational objection a buyer might raise.
Worried the payment is too high? Simple, please. Just extend the loan term and lower the monthly number.
Concerned about reliability? The dealer will offer you an extended warranty you can simply finance into the loan. Nervous about depreciation? Don't worry, you'll probably just want to trade it in for something newer anyway. Every rational objection you raise has a perfectly rehearsed sales response waiting to neutralize it immediately. So there you have it. The mystery of how people afford these insane car payments isn't a mystery.
It's a careful orchestrated system of extended loan terms, emotional manipulation, and financial gymnastics working together.
Financial gymnastics that would make any circus performer absolutely jealous of the acrobatic skill required.
People aren't actually affording these payments in any meaningful financial sense of the word. They're just kicking the financial can down the road while convincing themselves they deserve that shiny truck. The next time you see someone driving a vehicle that costs more than your house, remember this. They're probably eating cereal for dinner every night just to afford that impressive truck payment. And maybe, just maybe, that reliable used car sitting in your driveway isn't looking so bad after all.